In the second decade of this century, the war in Afghanistan continues unabated. The US military's latest assessment is a classified document, and that in itself has led many commentators to the view that President Obama's report to the American people that the mission is on track may be a tad optimistic, especially as the president described recent gains as fragile and reversible. In his new book, The Next Decade, Stratfor founder Dr. George Friedman discusses the role of Pakistan. Dr. Friedman joins me now. George, can the war be settled to everyone's satisfaction?
No war can be settled to everyone's satisfaction, otherwise there would have been no war. What is going to happen here is that the United States is going to try to force a negotiated settlement with the Taliban that guarantees that Taliban will take responsibility for keeping al-Qaeda out of Afghanistan. It will then turn to Pakistan and say Pakistan's obligations are to oversee the situation in Afghanistan. Pakistan is quite interested in overseeing Afghanistan. It's its western border. It matters. And we will get to a conclusion in the end that will satisfy no one, but will in the end be manageable. Before that can happen, the United States must demonstrate that it's prepared to remain in Afghanistan permanently if it doesn't get what it wants. Otherwise, the Taliban has no reason to negotiate. It simply has to wait for the United States to leave. And so what we are looking for in Afghanistan is a military process that is sufficiently fearsome that it raises the question in the mind of the Taliban whether or not it's risking too much by continuing the war. Whether that happens or not remains to be seen, but I think under any circumstances, the United States will leave Afghanistan in the not too distant future for the very simple reason that it has many interests in the world, and Afghan democracy is not one of them. And al-Qaeda, even if it is in Afghanistan, doesn't need to be in Afghanistan. It's in Yemen, it's in Somalia, it's in Cleveland, Ohio. Al-Qaeda doesn't need to be in Afghanistan. It can be anywhere.
Was it a mistake then for the Obama administration and the military to start talking about the coming July as a date for starting to withdraw troops?
Well, I think psychologically that was necessary for the American public to give a sense of the fact that a war that is not of fundamental interest to the United States will terminate. It obviously weakened the position, but not as much as you think, because the Taliban is absolutely aware that the United States is not going to be spending the next 50 years trying to pacify Afghanistan. And the Taliban is not going anywhere anyway. So, I mean, it didn't do much good placing the date on there, but it really only announced what everybody knew. And of course, the United States doesn't have to keep with the dates or have only symbolic withdrawal. It guarantees nothing to the Taliban.
I suppose one of the problems with the current strategy is that Pakistan is critical to it, but is also the weakest link.
Well, it's a weakest link so long as the pacification of Afghanistan means the destruction of Taliban. Certainly, Pakistan can't destroy Taliban, but then neither can the United States. If you see the primary purpose of the war to create a situation in which the Taliban does resume its powerful position in the country, but is reshaped in a way with guarantees that are credible not to allow the thing the United States are most afraid of, al-Qaeda, to operate there, then Pakistan is quite useful and quite powerful in Afghanistan. It really comes down to the question of if the United States can't defeat Taliban, which I think is the case, others may argue, but I don't think the United States can defeat Taliban, certainly not with anywhere the quantity of forces the United States has placed in there, then how do the two countries accommodate themselves to the Taliban? I think the Pakistanis won't have a great deal of difficulty doing so.
George Friedman there, and you can buy this book, The Next Decade, published by Doubleday, at good bookshops and from www.stratfor.com.